Today's class is a peak pose class working towards bow pose dhanurasana. So we'll focus on things like hip extension, thoracic extension, and core strength. I hope you enjoy. Let's start out seated, sitting on our shins. If this isn't comfortable for you, you can also take Sukhasana easy pose. Find a place where you are sitting back on your heels, a straight line from your ankles to your hips, to your shoulders, to the middle of your ear. Rest your hands along your thighs and close your eyes. Begin to notice your inhale and your exhale. Lengthen your inhale and stay for a full, complete exhale. Open your eyes. Inhale, arms overhead. Interlace your fingers and stretch your palms to the ceiling. Exhale, round through your upper back and press your hands out in front of you. Inhale, back up straight. Exhale, your right hand by your right hip and tip over onto your left hip. Inhale for length. Exhale, side bend to the right. Look under your left arm if that's comfortable for you. You can stay here, or you can crawl your fingers a little farther away and bend a little deeper. Be sure to spiral your chest up to the ceiling. Inhale, back up. Interlace your fingers the opposite way. Press your palms up to the sky. Exhale, round through your upper back. Press your palms out in front of you. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, place your left hand by your left hip and tip on over to your right hip. Inhale for length. Exhale, side bend to the left. Look under your right arm. Stay here or crawl your left fingers farther away from you and side bend a little deeper, spiraling your chest up towards the ceiling. Inhale, back up, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Come to stand at the front of your mat. Place your feet hip distance apart. Press down firmly through all four corners of both feet. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, soft bend to your knees. Find Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long flat back. Exhale, step your left foot back, lower your left knee down, and find low lunge. In this low lunge, let's focus on hip extension. Tuck your tailbone under, keep your tailbone tucked as you lower down to your lunge. Keep your torso in a nice straight line. Feel the length in your front left hip, your hip flexor. Final inhale. Exhale, place your hands down on either side of your right foot. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Lower halfway or all the way to the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot by your left thumb. Lower your right knee down. Rise up to low lunge. Tuck your tailbone under, keep it tucked as you lower down into your lunge. Focus in this lunge on the length in your right hip flexor. Keep your torso nice and straight and tall, rising up out of your hips as you lower down into your lunge. Exhale, place your hands on either side of your left foot. Step your right foot forward to meet your left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, soft bend to your knees and revisit forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back, lower your right knee down, and find low lunge. Adding on this time, keep your tailbone tucked as you lower down, and let's add thoracic extension. Engage your lower abs, keep your low ribs pulling in and down as you lift your chest up and back. Breathe into the space you're creating. You want space, not compression in your low back. Exhale, your hands frame your left foot. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Lower halfway or all the way to the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot by your right hand. Lower your left knee down. Rise up to low lunge. Tuck your tailbone, lower down into your lunge. Keep your low ribs pulling in and down, your lower abs engaged as you lift up with your chest and back. Create space, not compression. Exhale, hands frame your right foot. Step your left foot forward to meet your right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands by your sides. Bring your feet together, big toes touch. Exhale, sit down into Utkatasana chair pose, arms by your ears. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale for length. Exhale, twist to your right, but don't hook your elbow around your knee. Instead, use muscular engagement for the twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. No hooking of the elbow and the knee, no leverage, all muscular engagement of your spinal extensors. Inhale back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your left foot back. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. Pivot your left heel down so your foot is at 45 degrees. Bend your right knee and come up to Virabhadrasana 1. Place the heels of your hands right on your hips and see where your hips are pointing. Mine are actually pointing slightly off to the left. See if you can adjust so your hips are pointing more to the front of the mat. You'd pull your right hip back, your left hip forward. As you do that, continue to press into the outside of your left foot and bend into your right knee. Draw your low ribs in and down. Make sure your shoulders are above your hips. And inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, interlace your fingers behind your back. Inhale, straighten your arms, find length. Exhale, lift your chest up and back, just like we did in low lunge. Be careful that your ribs don't flare, that your tailbone doesn't tip back and your whole belly comes forward as you bend back. Instead, stay stacked over your hips and lift only your chest up and back. Exhale, fold, humble warrior. Right shoulder to right knee, or if your anatomy allows, maybe a little lower, inside of your right knee. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Inhale, return to warrior 1. Straighten your right leg. Release the interlace of your hands. Option 1, press your fists together at your low back. Option 2, reverse prayer hands, fingers point up. Notice your scapula, your shoulder blade, and if you notice it's winging off your back, be sure to engage your serratus anterior. It's those finger-like muscles that wrap around the sides of your body to really pull your shoulder blades back onto your back. If you can't do that while your hands are in reverse prayer, then press your fists together instead. Inhale for length. Exhale, fold over your right leg for pyramid pose. Continue to draw your right hip back, your left hip forward. Press into your right big toe and the outside of your left foot. Place your hands down on either side of your right foot. Step your feet back to high plank and lower all the way to the mat. Roll over onto your back. We'll do some core work. Option 1, lift only your legs. Option 2, you can also lift your shoulders and reach up towards your toes. Option 3 will be a full V-sit, where your legs come up, your torso comes up, and you come up essentially into boat pose. Legs down, arms overhead. Choose whatever option works best for you. Nice big inhale. Exhale, come up. 1. Inhale as you slowly lower. Exhale, up for 2. Inhale, slowly lower. Exhale for 3. Inhale, slowly lower. Exhale, up for 4. Inhale, slowly lower. Last one. Exhale, up for 5. And inhale, slowly lower. Roll back over onto your belly and push back to downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward. Walk, step, or jump to the front of your mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands by your sides. Bring your feet together and sit back into Utkatasana chair pose. Weight back into your heels, legs squeezing together as one leg. Arms by your ears. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale for length. Exhale, twist to the left. No leverage, no hooking elbow and knee. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Use muscular engagement for the twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. Pivot your right heel down to a 45-degree angle. Bend into your left knee and find Virabhadrasana 1. Again, place the heels of your hands against your hips. See where they're pointing and make adjustments so your hips are square, pointing towards the front of your mat. Left hip comes back, right hip comes forward. Press into the outside of your right foot. Bend into your left knee. Draw your low ribs in and down. Make sure your torso is directly stacked over your hips. Inhale, arms by your ears. Exhale, interlace your fingers behind your back. Inhale, straighten your arms, find length. Exhale, from your upper back, chest goes up and back. Exhale, humble warrior, fold. Bring your left knee and shoulder together. Maybe your shoulder comes inside of your left knee. Lift your hands up towards the ceiling. Inhale, come back up to warrior 1. Straighten your left leg. Option 1, fists pressed together at your low back. Option 2, reverse prayer. Engage your serratus anterior. Pull your shoulder blades onto your back. Inhale for length. Exhale, fold over your left leg. Pyramid pose. Left hip pulls back, right hip forward. Press into your left big toe and the outside of your right foot. Continue to draw your elbows up if you are in reverse prayer. Place your hands down on either side of your left foot and step your feet back to high plank. Lower all the way to the mat. Roll back over onto your back. We're going to do bridge pose. Bring your feet close to your sit bones, hip distance apart, knees pointing straight ahead. Arms by your sides, shoulders comfortably underneath you. Exhale, push into your heels, lift your hips. Squeeze your glutes. Squeezing your glutes helps with the hip extension. It allows you to lift your hips nice and high. However, squeezing our glutes can also externally rotate, which we don't want to do. We don't want to externally rotate our legs in the socket. So while you're squeezing your glutes and lifting up, also engage your adductors, your inner thigh muscles, and draw your legs together like you did in chair pose. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly lower. Round 2. Exhale, press into your heels, lift your hips. If you want, this time you can interlace your fingers and walk your shoulders a little closer together. Press more through your heels to bring your chest even closer to your chin. Continue to squeeze your glutes to help with the lift and hip extension, while also drawing your legs towards each other as one leg. Final inhale. Exhale, release the interlace and slowly lower. Round 3. You may want to walk your feet even closer if you can. Feel that you can touch your heels with your fingers. Exhale, push into your heels, lift up. Our third option is to bind around our ankles. So see if you can reach and hold onto your ankles. Press into your heels, lift your hips even higher, bring your chest towards your chin. Engage your glutes, draw your legs energetically towards each other. Final inhale. Exhale, release your ankles and slowly lower back down. You can draw your knees into your chest if you'd like to. Maybe rock from side to side for just a moment before you roll back over onto your belly and push back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up, 3-leg downward facing dog. Exhale, step your right foot by your right hand, lower your left knee down and find a 90-90 low lunge. So a 90-degree angle with your back leg and a 90-degree angle with your front leg. Inhale, arms by your ears. Interlace your fingers and gently cup the back of your head, point your elbows forward. Exhale, draw your chin towards your chest, round through your upper back. Feel the stretch through your left hip flexor. Inhale, roll back up, arms up. Right hand by your right side, inhale for length. Exhale, side bend to the right. Feel all the space you're creating on the left side of your body, including through your left hip flexor. Windmill your left hand by your right foot. Cup the back of your head with your right hand. And twist your chest and your gaze to the right. Twists are a great warm-up for back bends because they help get the thoracic moving and they help engage your spinal extensors. Exhale, place your right hand on the outside of your right foot. Heel toe your right foot to the left side of the mat. Bring your right knee forward and down and find an upright pigeon pose. Keep your hips square. Draw your left hip forward, your right hip back. Sit nice and upright. Bring your chest, your torso up over your hips. Feel all of the space through your left hip flexor. Focus on that hip extension. If you want to add thoracic extension, you can lift up and back with your chest like we did in low lunge and warrior one. Exhale, place your hands down. Step back to high plank, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your left leg up, 3-leg downward facing dog. Exhale, step your left foot by your left thumb, lower your right knee down to a 90-90 lunge. Inhale, arms overhead, interlace your fingers, gently cup the back of your head, point your elbows forward. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest and roll through your upper back. Feel the stretch through your right hip flexor. Inhale, roll back up, arms up. Left hand by your left side, inhale for length. Exhale, side bend to the left. Feel all the space now on the right side of your body, including through the right hip flexor. Spiral your right hand by your left foot. Your left hand cups the back of your head, and twist your chest and your gaze to the left, opening up your thoracic and engaging those spinal extensors. Exhale your left hand to the outside of your left foot. Heel toe your left foot to the right side of the mat. Bring your knee forward and down and find an upright pigeon. Square your hips. Right hip forward, left hip back. Focus on first the hip extension. Feel the opening through your right hip flexor. From there, keeping your torso lifted up out of your hips, you can add the thoracic extension by lifting your chest up and back. No compression in the low back, no flaring of the ribs. Exhale, place your hands down, step back to high plank, and lower all the way to the mat. Place your forearms out in front of you so your elbows are directly under your shoulders or slightly in front. Tuck your tailbone, press down firmly through the tops of both of your feet. Energetically pull your hands back towards you to help shine your chest forward and through your arms, Sphinx pose. Final inhale and exhale, release down. Bend your right knee, reach back with your right hand and hold on to the inside of your right foot. Draw your right heel towards the outside of your right butt cheek. You can stay like this, or if you're able, spin your hand around so your fingers point forward and you hold on around your toes. Half frog pose. Inhale. And exhale, carefully release. Place your right forearm down. Let's do the other side. Bend your left knee. Hold on to the inside of your left foot. Draw your heel towards the outside of your left butt cheek. Stay here, or if you're able, spin your hand so your fingers point forward and hold on around your toes. Continue to draw your heel towards the outside of your hip. Half frog. This is a nice opening for the front of your leg, your hip flexor, your quad. And carefully release. Lower all the way to the mat, arms by your side. Make sure your tailbone is tucked under. Inhale, lift everything but your hips off the mat, locust. Inhale for length. Exhale, lift a little bit higher. One more inhale. And exhale, release down, hands under shoulders. Push back to child's pose. Take a couple of deep breaths in child's pose. Just let everything relax for a moment. Come on up to tabletop and walk your knees between your hands. Keep your knees together. Open your feet wide so you have space to sit down between your feet. For Virasana hero pose. If this isn't comfortable for you, you can sit up on a block or you can sit on your shins like we did at the beginning of class. Option 1, you can stay right here. Option 2, you can come back, place your hands behind you, tuck your tailbone for more length, and maybe come down onto your forearms. Option 3, if you feel like you still have space, you can come all the way down onto your back. I like to hold on to opposite elbows above my head. Let's take a couple of breaths in Supta Virasana, reclined hero, stretching out the front of our legs. If this is causing you any anxiety, any pain, any discomfort, come out of the pose. You can be up on your shins, or you can choose to do a different quad stretch, maybe a twisted lizard pose, holding on to your foot, drawing your foot towards your butt. Final inhale. Carefully come back up and find your way to your belly. Bend your right knee. You can hold on to the inside or the outside of your foot. Lift your right thigh off the mat and your left arm forward and up, half bow. Inhale for length. Exhale, lift a little higher. And carefully release. Switch sides. Bend your left knee, hold on to the inside or the outside of your left foot. Lift your left thigh off the mat, your right arm forward and up. Inhale for length. Exhale, lift a little higher. And carefully release. Make sure your tailbone is tucked under. Bend your knees. Reach back, hold on to the inside or the outside. You can hold on to your feet, your ankles, maybe even your calves. Focus in this first round of bow on hip extension. So engage your glutes, lift your quads off the mat. Don't worry so much about lifting your chest up. Inhale, lift. Engage your quads, squeeze your legs together as one leg, like we did in chair, like we did in bridge. One more inhale, and exhale, release. Rest your forehead on your hands for a moment. Round 2, make sure your tailbone is tucked. Bend your knees, hold on, again, to the inside or the outside, whichever is most comfortable. In round 2, let's focus on thoracic extension. So lifting our chest goes up and back. To help, try and straighten your legs, pushing your feet into your hands, and keep your quads on the mat. Inhale, lift your chest. Press your feet into your hands. Keep your quads down. Feel your chest lifting up and out. Final inhale. And exhale, release. Rest your forehead on your hands again. Round 3. You can do just hip extension again. You can do the focus on the thoracic extension, or you can combine them both. Bend your knees, hold on to your feet or your ankles. Inhale, lift. Engage your glutes, draw your legs together as one leg. Lift your chest forward and up. Press your feet into your hands. Inhale for length. Exhale, lift a little higher. And if you can, smile. Bow pose, dhanurasana. Final inhale. And carefully release down. Place your hands under your shoulders. Press back one more time to child's pose. Inhale, sit tall. Sit off onto one side. Bring your legs out in front of you and bring your hips to the middle of the mat. Stretch your legs long. Inhale for length. Exhale, Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Hips back and up. Belly to thighs, chest broad. Bend your knees if that helps you in your fold. Wherever you are, just take a couple of deep breaths in this seated forward fold, which is a nice counter to all of the back bending we've been doing. Inhale, sit tall, and come to lie on your back. Bring your knees up so your knees are directly over your hips. Your shins are parallel to the mat. Open your arms to a T and gently lower your knees down to the left. There's nothing you need to do in this reclined twist. Unlike a reclined chair, no muscular activation needed. Just like gravity, do all of the work. Bring your knees back to center and carefully lower them all the way over to the right. Again, just relax and release and let gravity take care of all of the work in this twist. Bring your knees back to center. Hold on around your shins. Hug your knees into your chest, and if you'd like, you can even bring your shoulders up, bring your nose towards your knees, make yourself nice and tiny, a little ball. And then exhale, release, open wide. Feet to the edges of the mat, hands by your sides, palms facing up, shoulders comfortably underneath you, eyes closed. And just relax. Release any tension you're feeling in your body, from your jaw, from your lips, from your shoulders, from your hands, from your legs, from your feet. And release any tension from your mind. Let all the thoughts, worries, and anxieties just melt away as you melt into your mat. I invite you to stay here for as long as you'd like, for as long as you're able. If you're ready to move on with me, begin to bring some life back into your fingers and your toes. Stretch your legs long, stretch your arms long above you. Nice big inhale. Exhale, roll over onto one side. Carefully find your way into a comfortable seated position. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Feel your heart beat against your hand. Feel your breath rise and fall. Thank you for practicing with me today.